first question, I want to start out just by asking, so Sean, like what advice would you give a new fence company just starting out? Is there anything specific that someone's reached out to you before, like mentor-mentee relationship, and said, hey, like what do I need to know if I'm just starting a company?
I think you said the magic words, right? Research, but go find a mentor. Somebody that's in the industry already, like step one, before you do anything else, is find a mentor of some sort, someone you can trust and rely on. Just to bounce some ideas off of, get you in the right path. Really, it's all that's for.
Sure. What about you, Dan? Anything specific that you would give that you would like to give out as advice?
Yeah, I mean, feeding off what Sean said, make sure you get the right mentor. Don't do like Defense King did and start off with a name that doesn't work because somebody else owned it and I didn't have any idea because the guy that was mentoring me wasn't really the guy that should have been mentoring me, and he had me doing things the way I shouldn't have been doing them. You know, simple things like I should have been right out the cage, W-2ing employees, making people employees. He was teaching me how to get around things. So make sure you get the right mentor, because that's just because someone's successful doesn't mean that they're really successful. You know, I've been doing this 23 years, and it was 16, 17 years into it before I realized, wait a second, I've been doing this all wrong. And I pretty much had to start my entire business over and set it up differently.
Any quick tips from anyone else around how to identify that mentor?
That's a tough one. I'll tell you, as you go through the industry, I don't think you stick with one. I think Sean and I have collaborated on a lot of things, and Joe and I have collaborated. I've learned from everybody that's around me, whether you're in the industry for 5 years or you're a fifth generation. I think you need to collaborate, and we always talk about don't do what I do. Matter of fact, Sean, you and I definitely disagree on some things.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. So, but really, mentors is not a person necessarily, is what I'm trying to say. You got some great organizations, right? American Fence Association, Northern American Fence Contractors Association, Fence Workers Association. You know, those associations at the very least network you with other people that are motivated to be professional in their industry. So like at the very core of those associations, that's where you should be, because you will start to do what Matt just said, run into the Joe, run into the Keenan, run into the Fence King, run into those guys, and start having multiple conversations with all sorts of guys all over the country, and take a little nugget from every one of them, but find out what works best for you. I will never preach and say you got to build a fence business just like Sean King does. And Joe will tell you the same thing. If I was somewhere different in the world with different resources and different ambitions and different goals, my company would look different, even if I was running it.
Bingo.
Well, and that's the other thing, Sean, you know what you're saying there. When you have your Mr. Fence Academy, and guess what? When you show up there, it's not just Sean. Joe's there.
Yeah.
Sam's there. Matt's there.
Yeah.
It's everybody putting in their perspective. And, you know, you what's the old saying? Eat the fish and spit out the bones, you know?
I haven't heard
you
that.
know? And so you're like, okay, you know, I used to growing up, my dad used to say he was a cafeteria Catholic. Give me a little bit of that. Oh, I don't want none of that. Give me a little bit of this. And that's kind of like the fence industry is, you know? You know, some guys like wet set, some guys like dry set, some guys like shark hinges, some guys like butterfly hinges. You know, it's all what works for you. And it's nice that I can pick up a phone and text Joe and say, hey, Joe, what kind of mic are you using today? I really like that. Hey, Sean, where are you buying those hinges from? You know, we didn't have that 23 years ago.
No, we didn't have that 6 years ago.
You know,
Yeah.
one thing that I'd pitch in on here is that just kind of agreeing with the get a group of advisors sort of thing. So I think Matt put it best. He and I talked about this a while ago. Like, you really want to have like a board of advisors of your industry peers, right? So that instead of having one mentor, have a group of 5 or 6, 7 mentors, because each one of us have gone through life differently, right? Our business journey has looked different. So we've probably gone about solving the same problems different ways. And sometimes the problems are similar, but different still yet. So having a board of advisors or a group of like-minded individuals might be better than trying to seek out one mentor.